Offset, he dead wrong. He asked for spousal support.
She said that like, what?
Because that has to be the most bitch ass thing I've ever heard in my life.
I'm Marcel.
I'm Tanya.
And I'm Dawn.
And this is Unspoken. Each one of us has picked a topic that caught our attention, and now we're gonna unpack it with you. So, first subject is, do you really take the risk, take a really big risk when you want to push your kids to greatness? I mean, that, honestly, I think about Joe Jackson, I think about Floyd Mayweather, I think about a lot of really great athletes who had parents that pushed them to, that level. But it's such a balance in that, because you can push, but you can also lose your kids too, doing that. Like trying to really push them into their greatness. A lot of those relationships ended up being toxic.
Yes.
So the question is, can you achieve both? Because I would never want to risk my relationship with my kids regardless. Like I want us all to be a really tight pack no matter what. So that's not, I would never risk that. However, I do think on an ongoing basis, there's a way to always raise the bar and let them know, no, I expect you to achieve, and you can do multiple things at the same time. It's whatever you want to achieve, but we don't have excuses in my household. So it's like, you have to push further than me. I guess I go with the old mantra like my parents told me. I need to be greater than my parents.
Yes.
That's always been the litmus test. I need to be bigger, better, learn from their mistakes, and grow and develop and be. I put that same task to my kids. I'm like, listen, you're gonna have to outdo me. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but you're gonna have to outdo me. I think that bar should be the standard. So I do truly believe that you should go all out when you're pushing your kids to make sure that they achieve. Because I mean, there's no getting this time back. So making sure they have that foundation in certain areas, like education, make sure they're pushing their education, making sure that they're surrounding themselves with the right people, making sure that they understand financial literacy, making sure that they understand the next levels in this thing. I think it's mandatory.
Yeah, I think all those things are important, but I think it's more so when you can identify a very particular path that you know would end in them having a very fruitful life.
Yeah.
Now, in that may not even be what they want to do.
Yeah.
But I believe that at the end of the day, 20, 30 years down the line, they'll love you for it and they'll appreciate it, because the worst thing is to look up and you're 40 and you're like, my mama didn't teach me nothing.
Right.
They didn't show me anything.
Yeah.
I had to learn all this on my own, and I'm still trying to figure it out.
Right.
So even when you look at like Joe Jackson, like the Jacksons and Tiger Woods, they appreciate everything their parents have done for them. Now, when they were growing up, they were probably mad.
Yes,
Exactly.
definitely.
You know what I mean? They
Exactly.
probably did have an issue with it. But I feel like it's the same as they get mad when we tell them they got to wash the dishes,
Right.
clean their room, mow the lawn. You're going to be mad at this too.
Right.
I feel like you should. And I wish someone had did it for me. I think the disservice we do to our children is because we don't know any better.
Yeah.
A lot of times when we don't know any better, we can't teach them. And I know with like my mother, it was just a lot she didn't know.
Yeah.
Right.
So she couldn't show me anything. So I had to go through the bumps and bruises.
Yeah.
Right.
But now that we have had the privilege of experiencing so many things in life, and we've all touched $1 million. It's like, why wouldn't we share that with our kids,
Right.
even if it hurts them right now?
Right.
And I don't care. My kids are 27 and 30, and I still tell them what to do.
Yeah. I mean, I guess another family that comes to mind who's well documented would be Venus and Serena.
Another
I
good
mean,
example.
their father had them out there sun up to sundown. It's been documented.
Right.
And this was nothing that they were interested in, but he was such a figure that they just fell in line and did what they were told, But clearly that has taken them to a whole nother level beyond what they would even expect coming from South Central,
Right.
Unfortunately, I know when I look at my own household, I feel like I'm a lot tougher on my daughter than I am on my sons.
Why?
I maybe because from the standpoint of me being a woman
Yes.
and knowing how important that it is. And we talked about this on some other subjects or some other episodes of making sure you have your own. So I think when I am talking to her about greatness, I'm probably in her ear a lot more than I am in my son's. And maybe their dad does that for them. I'm not sure. You know what I mean? But we have the things that all of us discuss. Financial literacy is big in my household. Even with my 14-year-old, their allowance comes through their bank account and they have to balance it. So that is a big part of what I think our generation missed because our parents were just getting started with that financial literacy. I know it may be different for you because your mom was an educator.
Right.
So therefore, she probably was in an education mode as it pertained to you. But for me, I think my mother was just tired of being a stay-at-home mom. Although she had tried her hand at several different businesses, she didn't have the capacity to really follow through and get something done. And one thing that she always tried to instill in me was make sure you have your own. Make sure you have your own. And not only in me and my sisters as well. So I think the push is different based on, your environment as well. I think it's amazing when you're going back to Serena and Venus that he was able to see that for them. And I often wonder if what they achieved was bigger than what he even saw, because obviously we had never seen that in two young black girls from South Central or from anywhere,
Like with Tiger Woods. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely hammering my son harder though.
Yeah, that's my point.
Because
Yeah.
girls are, what I notice with my girls is, even if they act like they're not paying attention, they paying attention. And plus they mature at a much a higher level of progress. And then like girls take their future seriously. My son be over there messing around. Like he has talent, but he be messing around. So I'm definitely on him harder because I want him to always, be somebody. But I like what you said too, and I always think about that. Like, so, Venus and Serena and Tiger and Floyd, these are great personalities that clearly their parents can see their skill set early, but they don't represent like what we have to deal with it, which is kids that have talent, right? But it might not be sports. So I think parents are still responsible for figuring out what you think your kid is doing best, because you've been watching them their whole lives.
Correct.
It's like you said, let them gravitate towards what they like, and then it's time for me to press the button and put the pressure on them, right?
Yeah.
But I'm letting them pick, and again, like when Bryce was in so-and-so and his mom did some freaking test, how I get, and the guy was like, yeah, he's an engineer. Right, so we had an idea, and then he loves computers, So then it's kind of like, all right, honing him into that, right? So I think that's how you get to greatness, right? Like you have to give them that guidance, but they also have to pick it themselves. Because you're right,
I think that's important.
Right, because that's a disaster, and you try to make them be something that they don't want to be.
Sure.
So then they end up in a space that they don't like. You can't achieve greatness that way because you don't even like it.
Yeah.
But like you said, if we go back to the sports, he could see somewhere that Serena and Venus were different. And he could see their athleticism. And then he was like, yeah, we all in.
Yeah.
So it's that combination.
Yeah. But do you think like with some parents that it's a level of like greed on their end where they're like, I didn't get it, so I'm going to force my kids to get what I was not able to do. Or I can see that they're going to make us millionaires and get us out of the hood. So they push you knowing that they don't have the ability to do it. So I'm going to push you all to do it, because I think that's where the argument comes in. Like, is it a level of selfishness and greed that you're using your children to accomplish the things that you cannot accomplish?
Absolutely, vicariously living through their kids.
Yes.
And those sports parents should be ashamed of themselves, because we already know the numbers. We already know that 95% of them are not going to the pros.
Yeah.
So why are you up in the stands acting like an asshole? Why are you screaming on referees? Why are you running around talking about this and that? Your kid not going pro, dog.
Yeah.
Right? So my point there
might go
is
pro.
that is selfish, like you said, when they're sitting there looking at this kid and they like, their dreams. They're trying to filter them into this child. And that child might not even like basketball.
That's true.
You know, even though he's 6'5" and he got all the tools, I guess, and your dad's screaming on you out there, and that's traumatizing. The kid don't want to do it, right? So yeah, like, so it's like, I don't get those
go both
parents.
ways, because even with my son, he played golf from when he was 6 years old. His father was a golfer, and he even had a private golf coach all through high school. He ended up getting a scholarship in golf and decided he didn't want to go to college. Now, part of me felt like I should have made him go. You know, I should have forced him down that way. Now, he still plays golf as a sport.
Right.
But he was good enough to go pro. You know, and because he didn't see it. And he didn't want to do it, even though he loves it. But today, fast forward 12 years, he does feel like I probably could have done that.
Right.
But at the time, he was adamant. And I was one of those parents. It's like, well, if he doesn't want to do it.
Right.
You know, so I do resonate a lot with this. Like, if I had grandchildren, I would probably be that grandparent that's pushing them to be great in every way. But I mean, you know, it becomes.
I feel like it does have to resonate with the child. I'm thinking about the test that you said. I know, like they said, my daughter and my youngest son would be excellent at coding. Neither one of them are interested in coding at all. I mean, McKenna's about to go to school this fall for sports management. So she's far away from
what they said.
For a minute, she was considering statistics, which can fall in line with that. But then she went a whole different direction. And I do feel like now we have to push her in the area that she wants to be in. Because, I mean, if that coulda, woulda, shoulda, they have to be for themselves, not because I pushed them into it, because, you know, you want it to be something that they are passionate about. You know?
Would you force your children to go to college?
I haven't had to go that route, because they all want to go to school. You know what I mean? McCoy already has his list because he went on all the tours with McKenna and I. And my oldest just graduated college. So, and I didn't go to school. You know, I didn't get education in that way. So they all had already mapped out their own path. I don't even think it was a discussion. They all just knew that that's what they were doing. And I didn't push it on them because, like I said, I feel like I've become successful without it. I believe education is important, but I also know there are a lot of successful people out there who did not go to college.
Yeah, it's a combined. You're gonna have to have some damn skill or training.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I mean, if we taking college off the board, you better give me a serious damn game plan.
Yeah.
Because again, we're at that space where you want to make sure that they're equipped, right? And I say it in my household without any kind of like reservation. Look, you're gonna have to fly at some point. Right, you're not here forever. I can promise you that. You crack 21, you better be somewhere. You won't be sitting up in here playing video games. I promise you that. So you will want to line it up now while you have time, right? So I'm responsible for making sure it's lined up. But again, I'm not. I think you hit it, Dawn. You definitely can reach a crossroad with talent.
Yes.
And like you said, you probably would have been, whatever you want to call it, pushing the shit out of his ass so he won't have any regrets. That's all, you know, because you are the parent and you're like, listen, I see your skill, you gonna go do it no matter what. You get your ass out there, your damn daddy damn near pro, you can go pro too. Like, I think you have to do that because like you said, at the end of the day, they're crying anyway. So yeah, at least let the kid have that, and then he becomes whatever. And then if you want to quit, quit. Like,
at so that's crying with 7 figures.
Thank you. He got that paid. He got that paid, but that golf money long. So he could cry, but then he already paid. So it's a combination. But yeah, on that question about going to school, you're gonna have to show me something.
Yeah.
If you want to opt out of college, you're gonna have to show me something.
Yeah. And they're so fragile these days. So I think, oh my goodness.
That's why I was saying about the boys.
Right.
Like, I mean, you're already dealing with a fragile generation, but I mean, I don't have any time to let up on my son. I'm like, I'm putting the pedal to the metal on you, kid, because like you said, they just a different generation.
They are. That's why I say they definitely have to be passionate about it at this point. Because
I would want them the same as Marcel. I would tell them they had to figure out something.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't really have a whole lot of faith in the education system. Yeah. So that's a whole nother conversation. Right. And unfortunately, you do need a degree for several positions, which will be changing soon because of AI.
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
I would be very hard on what the hell
How
are
are
you
you
about to
doing?
do
Right. Yeah.
with your life. But like even my daughter, she's finished her undergrad, has a degree in biology, started her master's. She wants to be a physician, but she ain't doing nothing, and gets agitated every time I say, so when are you
Yeah. Yeah.
gonna go back? I'm like, because that's a long journey.
Yes.
You still have to do 4 years of medical school. You still have to do, a residency.
Yep.
And I mean, she wants to be a neurologist. Like, girl,
it's a long path.
when you gonna start making money?
Right.
So you gotta get out.
And she's asking me to borrow.
And I was going to say they're
You know-
good at that too, because literally I had never heard my oldest talk about going back to school for his master's. And the minute after graduation, he started, I was like, so what we doing? I was thinking about going back for my master's. So I feel like a lot of kids are using education to prolong actually getting out there and
Starting to
earning.
live.
Yes.
Yeah.
The world's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are. I think so. And
Especially
then-
for the fragile souls that we've created in this generation.
They've been living in 7,000 square feet houses.
Right.
I mean, seriously, you riding
Yeah.
around in Range Rovers, and
That's the
now they
biggest
like,
battle.
oh wait,
Yeah.
I only can afford a Civic.
That's the biggest battle.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing. They not used to that regular life. So
Right, I mean, because I feel like a lot of our businesses has afforded them those lifestyles.
yeah, they too privileged.
But I always,
That-
I hope I capture this right, but basically, this used to jump up in my feed, and the guy was like, I create warriors because basically, we're only strong as our weakest link, right? And I would hate to achieve all of this, and then my kids get scammed out of it.
Yeah.
Because like you said, they're not so
Right.
sharp in that area
They're
of
not.
seeing it coming their way. All of us raised in Chocolate City, we've seen a hustle.
Yeah.
I know exactly what a hustle looks like.
Yeah.
Right? But when the kid has been raised in
Sheltered.
this space, they can get got. They
Yeah.
can
They
easily
been
get
sheltered.
got, So that's why you gotta put trust funds and some barriers around this to
All
make sure
around.
they don't blow it.
Listen,
that's
nothing
what
but
we doing.
trust.
Yeah,
All
we're gonna have
around.
to set it up so just
Everything
in case.
is trust all around.
Yeah, all the way around.
Yes, as we're talking about the fruits of our labor and how it has helped our children, although we're pushing them, but talking about some of those things. I saw an interesting little video on the Shannon Sharp show recently where David Banner talked about whether or not he would do business with someone who cheats on their spouse.
I don't do business with men that cheat on their wives. And I say, huh? He said, if the person that you sleep with can't trust you, I damn sure can't. And I never thought about that.
Now, I thought this was a very, very interesting subject because all of us own our own businesses. Would you consider, or have you ever even thought about that in that context?
I feel like it's not going to come up.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to even know that you're cheating. Like I don't even know
traveling
how.
together and you're seeing them do things like indiscretions. Because a
Yeah.
lot of people travel together for business and it's a lot to be happening,
Yeah, I mean, I can see his point.
Yeah.
I see the point of if you are unfaithful in that area.
Yes.
And if you can't be trusted by the person that you have committed
Mm-hmm.
to and said that you would do certain things and you don't do it, I can see why you would think that there would be an issue in a partnership. But I feel like there are issues with partnerships overall anyway. And you just have to have the right paperwork in place as much as possible and try to settle it as much as possible. And if it don't work out, go your separate ways.
Yeah.
But he implying that somebody that cheats is of bad character, so you can't do business.
You don't think that's true?
I think that
It is a character
I think
issue.
that Bill Clinton used to cheat in golf all the time. He was known for it. Like him to pick up his ball and hit shit all the time. He was the president. I don't think. I mean, David Banner way out of his lane. Like, please, dude. Like, yeah.
How he out of his lane?
Because you can't sit there and be that judgmental because somebody makes a mistake that all of a sudden they're bad for business. What?
How do you make a
then
mistake?
everybody
You fall into
can get
publicity?
disqualified.
I mean, you
for
don't
something
make
they
a
don't do
mistake.
But anybody can be disqualified for something that they don't do that can question
I don't
their
think
character.
it's a disqualification.
But that's what he's saying. He doesn't do business with anybody that would cheat because if they cheat on their wife, how can I trust you? Really? Like, I mean, for
So
real,
the issue is more
business is
about
about the
trust.
paper, right? It's about agreements. Business is about delivering. Business is not totally about character. Of course, character matters because your reputation matters. So I totally understand that standpoint. However, you know, and again, this is the money, right? I mean, them Bama's going out there buying those Trump coins. You know, because they know where the money is, right? Like nobody. I mean, I'm not on board with Trump, but those people that jumped in on those altcoins and stable coins and those Trump coins, they getting paid. They don't have anything to do with Trump. It's about where the money is, right? Okay, so I'm like in business, this is about money. Bottom line, making the paper grow. I mean, again, I'm a developer. You telling me you think I'm not gonna purchase a piece of land from a cheater? Shit.
Like saying,
Like, I'm closing that deal easily. Like,
no one's saying I purchased land from a cheater. I think they're talking about doing business in close proximity with someone where you are put in a position where you have to trust them. Now, in your case, if it's a business deal where trust is not really a factor,
Right.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if I have to work hand in hand with you, and your word has to be your bond. If that is the case, in order for us to do business, I see your point there. I can see his point.
I definitely see it. Yeah.
you see his point?
Yeah,
I do,
in
but
that
I
case.
also know there are a lot of people who are great in business, but horrible in relationships.
100%.
Right.
So I know it can, because some people are so married to their businesses
Right.
that they just don't really dedicate the time, the effort. So I'm on the fence with this one. I do want to 100% trust anyone I do business with, because I don't want to be looking over my shoulder. But I do not believe that that's a prerequisite for me in order for me to do business with.
So I don't have to trust anybody that I do business with. It depends on the business.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's something that's just like, okay, it's very transactional, like we're very clear,
Right.
I don't need to. You have to think I'm in real estate. So
Uh-huh.
with that, I ain't got to like you. I don't have to trust you. You could be a piece of shit. I don't
Right.
care.
Yeah.
Okay. But if I have to work this close to
Closely with-
you
yeah.
and I have to trust you.
And also trust
That's
your decision
different.
making. All to me, this is deeper than just the actual cheating part, because when you're talking about this, it's about trust at the core. So if I am in a partnership with you, I do want to trust your decision making skill, like everything that we are doing. If I'm not even available, I want to trust that when you go, that everything is going to be handled in a certain way. So when I heard it, that was the first thing I thought about. This is more about trust than it is really about the act of cheating.
I think it depends on the partnership.
Yes.
Because even you're in development, if we're partners in development, so I don't care if he cheat.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't care if he cheating on somebody. You know, that's not a factor. But if it's something where we're doing something exchanging money,
Yeah.
Right.
like tightly, like I have to trust that you're not doing it under the table.
Right.
That's different.
That is
Okay.
very,
You know.
And I can publicly reverse a little bit. Sorry, Dave. I didn't think about it this way, but a partnership is different.
yes.
So if it's a partnership, then I would absolutely only do business with somebody that I totally trust. However, again, my disclaimer is that's why I don't do partnerships. Like I really prefer solo, create my own entities, go about it, make it happen, because partnerships are a lot more complicated,
He
right?
don't do partnerships because he an alpha male and he controlling.
I mean, that's the part of it too. I prefer it, if it break my way, it break my way. If it doesn't, then I can take the responsibility for it. But sitting there trying to negotiate with somebody about an issue, then it goes wrong, then I'm gonna be sitting there mad at his ass because I'm gonna be like, I wouldn't have done it that way, right?
Right.
So that makes it so complicated. But again, to say, my bad, David. If that's what you're saying in your video, then I totally agree. Like, if it was something that it takes this intimacy of like this growing
Really
a business,
dealing with
building
someone.
stuff, and you're talking to them on an ongoing basis, I mean, like, how can you do that with somebody that you don't trust?
Yeah, because then you
'Cause
hear
you
like
gotta worry about him getting you.
Right.
and not only that, you have to think like even like I can't remember the guy's name who started ChatGPT. Well, that was Elon Musk's thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
why
And he
Elon
stole it.
says that. He
You know
always
what I'm
slamming that
saying?
dude. He always slamming that dude.
So it's like there was something there where there was no trust. And,
Right.
you know, we don't have the whole story or anything like
Yeah.
that. But there are some times where people do steal right up from under you.
Yeah.
That's it.
And those are the times where you feel like, yeah, I do need to trust who I'm with. You know, even in marriage, you have to you have to trust. And we always talk about partnerships in business and partnerships in marriage. But, you know, I was Offset. He dead wrong.
Oh.
Listen, he asked for spousal support.
Oh my goodness gracious. She said that like what?
Because that has to be the most bitch ass thing I've ever heard in my life. Now, I was married, and when I got divorced, my ex-husband asked for spousal support. I know he did it to hurt me.
Clearly.
He did it out of
Clearly.
anger. You know what I mean? And yeah, I made the most money. I contributed the most. So he probably felt like, well, I can't maintain this lifestyle. That's probably why he immediately got remarried, because he needs someone to help him. But I just think that has to be the most sassy thing ever. Now, he's not asking for a particular amount, but how can you ask the mother of your three of your children, let me rephrase that, to pay you more money? And she made a post saying that the house that he's living in, she's paying $50,000 a month to maintain the house. He got girls coming in and out of there. First of all, what type of woman are you
Yes.
to be in the house that your ex-wife paying for? He broke. It's a whole situation.
He broke?
Well,
He don't have,
Is he broke?
he don't have no money like that.
But is he broke? I don't know about that. They had a lot of hits.
In the bigger scheme of things,
I don't know. I mean,
okay, maybe not broke,
yeah. That's what I'm
but
saying.
not paid.
Right, but that begs the question
he
because
had a space for $50,000 a month.
Now,
I mean, he still is. Offset.
okay, maybe he's not broke in terms of regular people broke.
Right.
Yes.
But he's definitely not able to maintain the same lifestyle that he had with Cardi B.
Okay, and then like you said, but that is a punk ass move to just try to hit her in her pockets. But like you said, where it hurts though. I think that's what this is all about. But it's interesting though, and again, I haven't really ever been keeping up with them as a couple, but everything that I've ever heard is this dude was cheating.
She made a post and she said they were together 7 years, and every month she caught him cheating.
So how you
out of every year?
So how you then come back and then you hit her for
and she
spousal
kept
support?
trying. She said she remembers when she was pregnant and she would just want his attention and he just would not give it to her. And I'm like, you're the one who caused all that.
Right.
She kept going back and kept trying.
Right.
And I'm like, for you to ask her for more money, knowing that she's even carrying, most of the expenses already, I just think that's just
Well, let's play devil's advocate here, though, because we as women are always talking about equal rights and I should be able to do the exact same thing that men do. So men have been paying spousal support for years. Are we at a space where if we are the breadwinner that we should be paying it? I'm not saying that I agree, but I am.
So I think in terms of a lot of times when women actually get spousal support, they were not the ones cheating. He's cheating on her every month.
So
on a regular basis.
Or is it about the
finance?
Well, I mean, listen, first of all, they should have had a prenup. Let's start with that. But they did not, okay? Because no matter how much money you have, you should get a prenup. But even in a prenup, you're going to outline the terms of the separation. Yes. And most of the time, it's going to say that if you cheat, you do not get the money.
But if we go, like you said, I don't even know if this is devil's advocate, but if Offset is really broke, not really doing well, you don't think he's entitled to spousal support?
Not with her having the 3 kids, no. Because, I mean, I think the amount of child support he would have to pay will offset that.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
That was good, though. That was actually good. I mean, from the angle of why is he taking her there? If I don't know his pockets, so I don't like to elaborate on these things. If my man is not doing well, then he might need the paper. That's a totally different dynamic. If he just trying to take her there just out of spite, none of us understand that. Because like you said, he facilitated it, right? From everything that we can see publicly, she was trying her hardest and he embarrassed her on an ongoing basis. So for you to now go, okay, now you need to pay me, like really, like that's what creates this mixture between our genders. Like that is so way off that I don't understand how he landed there. But again, I don't know their personal situation, so it is what it is.
But I'm wondering if it's about the actual money in this situation, or is it about the fact that she has now moved on?
Right.
Publicly,
But finally, publicly, you see that she balling out on her own.
Right.
Is that what's pushing him to be like, oh, that's what we're doing?
outside.
Yeah. She literally is doing that. Like she be popping up in my feed and she out there like having, you know. So I'm like, and Cardi never was doing that.
Yeah.
She was kind of handling her business, doing her shows, rapping, but you never saw her doing what she's doing now. She never dogged him anything.
Cardi.
So so you gotta wonder, and I agree with you. Like now he's like, but this is when she like, nah, I'm doing me, right? Which all goes back to what I keep saying about females. When she's in a space where she can handle her, she gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You know, like no matter how this ends, she's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
You know, because she's built her stable, her foundation, her brand, her shit. You can't take that from her. So no matter what he does, whatever the hell he doing over there, she gonna be straight.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying.
But she has a lot of male critics online. There are a lot of male yeah, there are always a lot of male critics. Anytime that you are strong, they always say, oh, she too strong. She out there doing this. She should be home taking care of the kids and doing all that stuff. That is what they do. There's a huge double standard there. So, you know, even though we would tell our children to ensure that you are financially together so that you don't have to depend on someone. And a lot of that comes from, like I said earlier, being in a space where, you know, society has kind of pushed Black men out of our lives on a regular basis. But now that we are strong enough to make our own money, we're looked at as, oh, you're an alpha female. No one wants that. No one wants a woman that's strong. We want someone that's soft and feminine and doesn't say anything and, you know, can be submissive. And those two are very hard to go hand in hand, you know. So, I mean, you do have to look for a very particular type of man that is willing to deal with it and wants that prefers that type of woman.
Well, I'm always gonna be a Cardi B fan because we already know where her beginnings were, strip clubs.
And she hustled.
They told her she couldn't be a rapper.
All the way
She did her rap thing. Then they told her she couldn't have a show. Then she doing shows. Like Tanya said, then she speaks out politically. She don't just sit there and she'll jump on camera just looking like her normal old self.
And she did not change.
I love her. So if you want to criticize her for being her, then you just go on with that. But her as her, I gotta love her forever.
No Cardi slander over here.
And so and then we always come back to this, the only guys that criticize and can't handle it are those guys that are weak and they just can't. They not holding it down. They not holding it down. So the only thing they can sit there and do is criticize you, right? Because they not holding it down. That's the only people coming out of the woodwork with their little comments.
I know. I agree with you on that, 100%. But no Cardi slander over here.
No, we love Cardi.
I love Cardi.
So y'all don't think she should pay the child support? It sounds like, or the spousal support. I'm sorry.
Well, she don't have any control over whether she pays it or not. I mean, the judge will decide that because they didn't have a prenup.
And the judge is basically going to be dictated by numbers.
Yeah.
So we know that, right? I mean, I had a kid at a young age. I walked up in court.
How do you feel accepting money like that? Like even Kendu.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige.
But see, that's on her. That dude was a bum from the jump.
So
she signed up with him.
They said we supposed to. Why you gotta always date people who got money?
No.
That's what they said.
Come on, Mary J. Nobody knew who that dude was. And
he was a manager.
Yeah, he was a manager, and everybody knows. I mean, come on now.
We didn't have a double
standard.
We
don't. I'm just saying,
you will be the first ones to tell us, oh, give a guy a chance if he's a nice guy or if he treats you well, and if he doesn't have money, it shouldn't matter. But then when you do it and they do some dumb crap like this, then you're saying, oh, she was dumb to even date him.
No, what I'm saying is you got to pay attention to your levels.
Yeah.
And you know, like,
Oh, now you agree with
never
levels.
not agree with your levels. I'm saying, like, if you
Yeah.
level, you and Mary J. Blige, I'm sorry, clearly you're going to be in a certain category, and you shouldn't be dating the damn engineer. Like, he over there fixing cameras and shit, and you in front of the fucking camera, that ain't gonna work out. You bringing him along. Like, you can't do that. You gotta be on your level, and that's all
So
I'm
why
saying.
do y'all men date women out of y'all level?
Because a lot of times guys with paper could just fucking do that. It's a double standard, like you said. I'm agreeing with you. It's a double ass standard. Look at Jeff Bezos. That chick
She
is
got
what?
money.
She do?
Yeah.
Oh, which I just thought she.
Yeah, she has money. She's been married to two other billionaires. This is her
Damn.
third one.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
What's she doing?
I don't know, but she be marrying billionaires. She need to write to a class, a master class.
You ain't lying. I want to know about that. Well,
I didn't realize that. I just thought he had just found
me
her.
too. I thought he found him in a little young buck.
Her last two exes are billionaires, and she has 3 kids.
Damn.
Wow.
She's over 45 and has 3 kids and all that.
So the rhetoric that they're talking about is
It's
not
bullshit.
Really, yeah. All right.
They are always saying that we can't have it, but
Right.
it's right there in front of us
Right.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Well, sounds like that's E6, and that's a wrap. Yeah, another great show. I love when it's just 3 of us. Sometimes we don't even need a guest. See how we putting it out there? But yeah, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. Join the crew. We here for you.